Hello everyone and welcome to the Matrix Exodus, and today we're going to be talking about Katie Price, but more about her legal argument, which is about disability and depression. So she's in bankruptcy for the second time, and she is saying that nobody will be able to take her house because she's going to be arguing that she has not been opening her letters for years due to depression. And this is an argument which I've raised myself, and it does work. There's a lot of people on the internet who say you have to write all this legal jargon to these companies, and I'll say this now, I've only done this with the water bill. No, I've not actually borrowed money and taken loans and then not repaid them. So this is why I'm particularly interested in the Katie Price case, because this will be all about loans, and I'm interested to keep on top of this. In my own case, I was going through a lot of traumatic experiences with having to self-represent my own rape case, and then also the fact that the police didn't help me during that rape. They let it continue into a rape because of political correctness. Then I decided that, well, I didn't decide, I went into a depression and I stopped opening my mail because I just I became fearful of any kind of letters that I might get from the courts with regards to my court case. I was actually, it took me several months to find the energy and find the motivation to just respond to letters from the CICA. It was a very, very traumatic experience, self-representing my own rape case. It's worth doing, but it takes a lot of energy and emotions from you. But you learn so much. So that's why I recommend it. So Katie Price is saying that Mucky Mansion, which is what her mansion is called obviously, isn't at risk, despite experts claiming she could lose everything. And she has stated, oh right, okay, was previously declared bankrupt 6 years ago. Now, when I stopped opening my letters and stopped paying my water bill, that was in 2020, I had letters from the courts, letters from these loans, debt collection companies who had bought the debt up, and I had that for about 2 years, maybe 3 years, but I haven't had any more letters from any debt collection agencies for about 1.5 years now. I think they've given up. And after 6 years you can have that CCJ removed. So I won't be able to take out loans, I won't be able to take out a mortgage or anything like that in this period of time. So if you're going to do this, you have to make sure that you are set for 6 years, that you have an income, that you're able to deal with inflation, that you live sort of frugally really in these 6 years, because it's, inflation does happen, and because you're not necessarily going to be able to get loans or any kind of money help in order to get you through those 6 years. So you need to be in a good position where you know how to deal with your situation, and that's usually living frugally. I mean, I'm not sure that Katie Price has done that, but I don't know her situation. She might be selling off her clothes and all sorts, I don't know. There are people online who say that you have to confront them with all this legal jargon. You have to sort of add all these acts and stuff into letters and say, like in the water situation, with water bills, you might say, oh yeah, well, I've got the legal right to life and all of that. I did consider doing that, and I was just too depressed to do any of that. I wasn't motivated enough to confront the company, so I just left it. I've left it for 4 years, nothing's happened, no one's come to my door. I mean, I used to creep up to the door to have a look through the peephole and everything. I was it wasn't a nice experience, I have to say, but once you get 4 years past it, you're sort of, okay, nothing's going to happen. And then this came up, I don't know what date this is, but it was like, it was a confirmation, 26th of March. It was a confirmation of everything that I had been sort of providing, you know, I'd been creating a case in case I was taken to court. And this was confirmation for me. So I'm really glad that Katie Price has talked about this. At a recent court hearing in London, Judge Sebastian Prentice said Katie had not responded to HMRC about money she owes, and so he declared her bankrupt. He said, "There has been no response from the debtor. The papers are in order. There is substantial debt due from Ms. Price to HMRC, and therefore I will make a bankruptcy order." The judge explained that the money Katie owes is from taxes from the years 2020 to 2021, 21 to 2022, including income tax, VAT, extra charges and interest. After the news about her bankruptcy came out, Katie spoke at an event and opened up to fans as she told them, "You've followed my life, my story. I say it as it is. Yes, I'm in bankruptcy, but guess what? I own my house. Nobody could take it from me as well." The mum of 5 opened up about having a breakdown and then seeking therapy. In a video she shared with the Sun, she said, "I had a breakdown, and I don't know if any of you have had a breakdown or been depressed or anything, and you didn't communicate with things, and then you don't answer letters." And that's her argument. And it will work. It will work because you cannot discriminate against disabled people. And if it's been going on for over a year, they cannot dictate to you how you respond to them. So she's right. I don't think they're going to take her home. And I think she has the argument for it. Then it gets in the red, this, that and the other, when you're like, I can't cope, and you hide away. And that does happen, and that's proven. The thing is, there's so much evidence on the internet to show that that is what therapists find. People go into themselves, they hide away, they can't cope, they don't communicate with people, they struggle, and that is how. I mean, I don't know whether she's on the internet every single day or anything like that promoting herself, or whether she's just disappeared from the internet, which would be even more proof of what she's claiming to be going through. That's basically what happened to me. So then I had therapy. Now, there's something in there. Now that could provide useful evidence, okay, to show that, you know, she could have had it written down in her therapy notes that actually she didn't open letters, she wasn't responding to people, she was too afraid. And so that would provide evidence in the court for that. But then there's also the people who don't trust the NHS anymore, like myself. And I would just say, you know, I went into depression. The NHS discriminated against me. They claimed that I was a racist because of my choices that I made after being raped by an illegal immigrant out of political correctness. And so I have no trust in the NHS. I'm not going to the doctors. I'm not trusting your science anymore. And that's also a legal argument that I can bring against anyone who says I had to go through therapy or anything like that. Got out of it, and I'm like, right, it's not as bad as you think. Just start communicating with these people. Start it all up, and then you get out of it. Well, I haven't communicated with them at all, and it's been 4 years now. 6 years you wipe off your CCJ, and so yeah, I mean, I personally won't be communicating with the water company because I'm not paying for water. If we have a right to life, then I'm not paying for water, because you need water to live. And that's the only debt that I wouldn't pay. If it becomes more obscene and absurd with, you know, these sorts of changes which they're wanting to make to houses to make them net zero, well, I've had letters about that, and I've been ignoring them because I don't want to be part of the net zero. I don't want to be part of the Agenda 2030. I don't want to be a part of that because I consider that to be pagan beliefs and pagan ideology, which I don't want to get involved in because I don't trust it. I don't like it. It's not my faith. My faith is Christianity. So I won't be involving myself in that either. So I will be ignoring communication which causes me distress, such as Agenda 2030. And I will, if I'm ever dragged into court, I will say, this is Agenda 2030. It traumatises me. It had me raped out of politeness. I'm not dealing with it. You can go F yourselves. She added, I think because you get there and then there's another opportunity. I think that she would have been really good to have made the argument, but that's something that I will be doing anyway. I'm doing completely experimental arguments in court. I want to push the legal system because, quite frankly, we don't have a justice system in this country. We have a legal system, and it's based on profit. If your case is not profitable, then you will not get representation. So we only have a legal system. We don't have a justice system whatsoever. And the only justice is those people who are going to be willing to experiment and really test and push the legal system. And that's exactly what I'm planning to do and have been doing since I got raped, basically. You raped me, you went there with me, and I'm going there with you now. So that's where I stand on these matters. The money she has earned in the last 5 years since she was declared bankrupt might also be taken away from her. Earlier this month, a bankruptcy expert shared their thoughts with the online mail, saying that Katie could lose everything she has. She won't, because you can't discriminate against disabled people, and I think that this is why they want to get rid of discrimination. This is why they probably want to get rid of this Human Rights Act, because there's too many loopholes with disability and they know it, and that's why probably they've got Katie Price saying, well, just go and I mean, she was you know, promoting the medical intervention and all of that kind of stuff, so she's not a trustworthy woman, that's for sure. But she is right. You don't have they can't force you to deal with your trauma or deal with your depression in the way that suits them, because that's discrimination against a disabled person. And then she went and said, yeah, you just get in contact with them, which you don't. Well, what you can do, but I haven't done, and it's 4 years now, and we'll see what happens at the 6-year thing. I think it's 6 years. I think it's something like 6 years, yeah. Stay on your credit file for 6 years. After 6 years is automatically removed from the register. So if you can cope with that for 6 years, these are my principles, and I'm sticking with them. I'm not paying for water. Anyway, I thought that I'd just do that video because I found it very interesting that Katie Price has made that argument. It's a shame about at the end when she says get in touch with them. But you've got to do what you want to do. I want to try and test the law. I want to push the law. I want to see how just and fair the law is, and how much they contradict their own laws. We already know that I've been raped out of politeness because of their contradictions with their laws. So, you know, I want to test them. I really want to test them. They tested their laws on me. I'm going to test their laws on them. That's how I see it. An eye for an eye. Anyway, please like, subscribe, share, comment. Tell me what you're doing with if you're doing anything similar and would do when things get even tighter, sort of like car insurance and things like that. You know, how much are you going to test the law? If you are, you might decide you're not going to at all. Okay, thank you. Bye.